So hello and welcome to another Red Hat Roadmap update to the Foreman Community. Please note that this session is being recorded, so if you have problems with the live stream, you can watch back at a later stage. Feel free to ask questions either on Freenode IRC or on the YouTube live chat, as I'll be monitoring both. And I would like to thank Dana Singleterry from Satellite Product Management for taking the time to speak to us today. And I think that's everything from me for now, Dana, so I'll hand it over to you.
All right, sounds good. So thanks everyone for having me as a guest presenter once again. Some things have changed since we talked about the roadmap, I think, 2-3 months back, maybe even longer. And at that point, I believe I started with set 6.7 that had just GA'd, and I went through 6.8 and then on to 7.0, which was the next release, 6.8 being the last in the 6 series. And so I just want to share with you some changes in our direction and what we've decided to do here. And I see that we have Andre, Tomer, BK, I believe, on the call. So you guys feel free to keep me honest and chime in as desired. So with that, let me just jump in here and give you the usual disclaimer that, once again, things are subject to change. I will state that what I'm going to show you from a Satellite 6.8 perspective, you can count on that, as we're already in our public beta, and GA is scheduled for a little bit later in October. So with that, I don't have a whole lot of slideware today. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of things, the features in 6.8. But the main thing that you'll see here is that 6.8 is no longer the last in the 6 series. We've introduced a 6.9 and a 6.10. And then 7.0 will come in Summit of 2022. So in essence, Satellite 6.8, the primary thing to take away from this is that, this aligns with Foreman 2.1. The main thing that we're delivering in Satellite 6.8, and I believe this was probably the same message that I gave you before, is IPv6 support. We also are going to provide support for satellite and capsules running on different versions of basically satellite. Let's say satellite in this case is 6.8. We would support capsules on 6.7. And then also introducing some upgrade automation for capsules for customers that have large fleets of capsules, say 10 plus. This will help them in that upgrade process. Summit 2021 previously. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just to clarify for our community users, capsules in satellite are the same as smart proxy in
correct.
Upstream.
Thank you, Tomer. Good catch there. I appreciate you mentioning that. Okay, so going forward, Summit 2021, this was the Satellite 7 originally. It is now Satellite 6.9. This aligns with Foreman 2.3. And with this, we are going to be enabling insights by default, as well as simple content access with subscription watch. There's a lot more that I'm going to share with you, but these are a couple of the high touch point items for that release. 6.10 aligns with Foreman 2.5. I will talk about, give you a little bit more detail on what the simple setup experience is. We're calling this a Insights connector or Insights point of presence. So some new stuff coming there that's going to help broaden our open hybrid cloud integration effort. Also introducing Pulp 3 here, and we are going to continue running Satellite 6 on Rail 7. With 7.0, this currently aligns to Foreman 2.7. This is where we will introduce Puppet removal. It's also worth mentioning, some of the things related to Puppet, and I forget what they are right now. Tomer, you might be able to help me out, will actually be removed in 6.10. And I know it's the Puppet content type, but is there something more there?
There's also the Puppet run trigger.
Puppet run.
And that's also removed already in 6.9, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yep, that's right. Thank you very much. I knew there was something else. I couldn't remember what. With Satellite 7.0, we are going to run on both Rail 7 and 9, not Rail 8. Rail 8 will most likely be introduced in Satellite 7.1. All right, so I'm going to just leave this slide up here and start talking a little bit more about what our goals are with satellite and 6.8 in particular. So one of the things that I haven't mentioned, so from satellite 6 on, we've been working on a lot of on-premise use cases, and we have been working on hybrid cloud use cases, but what we really want to do is start ramping this up. So as we go from satellite 6.8 to 6.9 to 6.10 and on, you're going to see more and more use cases specific to hybrid cloud. All right, let me just touch on satellite 6.8 real quickly, and then we will move forward. So from an IPv6 perspective, this is support of the primary use cases of satellite, both satellite and capsules running on an IPv6 enabled architecture. We're looking at management, remote execution, container management, provisioning, patching, running on IPv6 infrastructure. So, those core use cases that you get with satellite on just IPv4. We're also, as I mentioned, the N-1 support. I don't think there's really that much more to add there. Once again, satellite 6.8, and then capsules or your smart proxy running on satellite 6.7. Until such time you can take an outage to upgrade those capsules. And when you do take that outage, that's where the capsule upgrade automation comes in. We have HTTP UEFI support, so support for provisioning via the standard workflows, discovery standard, host create, and boot disk. And as you are probably aware, we did release on Automation Hub the Ansible modules and support that with satellite 6.7. With satellite 6.8, we're also including this in the ship version of satellite when it GAs. So let's see, what have I left out from a SAT 6.8 perspective? We also have LEAP integration for upgrading from Rail 7 to Rail 8. We are upgrading Puppet to Puppet 6. And we have better follow-on documentation for the reporting engine. I think those are the main items, but I will pause for a minute and see, Tomer, if you want to add anything else that you're aware of that you think the community would be interested in.
I don't remember the full feature set off the top of my head, but I think you probably covered the majority of it.
All right, sounds good. All right, so let's step on down to satellite 6.9. So this is where we are working on some of the default things around insights plus subscription watch, as well as simple content access. So, with the insights and subscription watch, we are enabling this by default for the improved hybrid cloud experience. The insights plugin itself provides inventory information to the cloud to get a better visual view, or perspective on what your subscription consumption looks like. Other things that we're doing here that goes hand in hand with this, as Rich Dorito always says, it's like chocolate and peanut butter works, well separately, but even better together. So simple content access with subscription watch really should be used together to get the best experience. And what simple content access is, you may have heard in the past, I'm not sure if we've shared this with you, it's something called Golden Ticket. It was later renamed to Relaxed Enforcement. And now that we've got a team, Rich Dorito, Dan Oz, that are working on this, we've productized it as simple content access and subscription watch. So SCA, what it does for you is basically reduces the restrictions on subscriptions and opens that up to unlimited in essence, but subscription watch itself is bilateral reporting to both the customer as well as the Red Hat account team to ensure that they can true things up should the customer go over their consumption of entitlements. The insights point of presence piece here is really simplifying the user experience. And let me just kind of give you a kind of a high level overview of what this is. So we are going to remain the on-prem point of presence, but provide a simpler user experience for installation and operation that enables smart management, if you will. Let me see here, kind of just to talk about the problem a little bit more when it comes to the insights point of presence. And while we're going down this path, you can look at it like, we are acutely aware of, what the core requirements are for any sizable IT, environment. That customer needs to have a focal point where security concerns can be addressed while maintaining a simple, accessible, low maintenance experience, as this is essential, to support the continued growth of smart management for open hybrid cloud. So in short, satellite, while it has a lot of functionality, it does have a lot of complexity that comes along with it. Some customers are very capable of working with that complexity, but what we want to be able to do is reduce that. We believe that offering a simple enough experience for a fully connected customer using a SaaS-based management offering is going to provide us with that. So envision that, as an Insights customer, they don't necessarily want to manage or maintain, that full-blown satellite, which is obviously capable of that fully connected or semi-connected or even disconnected management experience. So with an Insights point of presence or an Insights connector, this basically introduces a lower barrier of entry, if you will, for a lightweight connectivity to a customer's fleet of hosts, and it does provide secure management functionality as provided through the Red Hat Insights SaaS offering. So you could look at it like better orchestrations, better workflows coming down through satellite, or coming down from Insights through a lighter weight version of satellite, if you will. So that's kind of the idea, and that's kind of the themes that you're going to see continuing through Satellite 6.10, 7.0, and beyond. And I'll pause there for just a second and see if there's any questions. If not, I'll keep going.
On the stream and on IRC so far, Dana, there are no questions. So if anyone on the call would like to ask a question, you're more than welcome to also.
All right, well, if there's nothing just yet, I'll keep going. So talked at a high level about the Insights POP. Once again, simple install, simplified recs, configured automatically, and self-maintaining satellite, if you will. That's kind of the high level view of that. The improvements that are coming with the Insights plugin is, so there's some enhancements to the inventory upload, schema consistency and obfuscation, as well as to a call to action with remediation from Insights. And then there's also some additional, we introduced things like modularity and system purpose in Satellite 6.5 in support of RHEL 8. There are some improvements that we're bringing with system purpose in Satellite 6.9. All right, so stepping on down to Satellite 6.10. Already mentioned the Pulp 3 migration. We got migration tooling that we're working on here to help with that migration from Pulp 2 to Pulp 3. We're removing MongoDB, and overall, this is going to improve performance, not only with the removal of MongoDB, but with some of the other work that's being done in Pulp 3. So you can look at it as performance as one of the core aspects of the Pulp 3 migration. Once again, N-1 support, as well as upgrade automation. Satellite 6.10, will support capsules on 6.10 with Pulp 3 or on 6.9 with Pulp 2 until, once again, that the customer can upgrade their capsules to a 6.10. And there's certainly some complexities around that, going from Pulp 2 to Pulp 3. And we just called it out and had a specific feature for this because of those complexities. Workflow improvements, we're introducing some significant changes to the content publication workflow based on customer interactions that we've had and the request to redo this. It's also being updated and based on Patternfly 4. Currently, it is a PF3. And you will continue to see improvements in satellite workflows throughout the 7 series, and as well as upgrading the rest of the pages and the rest of the the workflows orchestrations to Patternfly 4. And then I'm calling out Insights POP here, phase 2. We're going to continue this, and you're going to see that I have something in here for 7.0 as well, as we continue down that open hybrid cloud journey. All right, what have I not covered here? I did talk about simplified Rex, but we're also going to create a Rex pool-based agent. With the Catello agent going away, we recognize that there is a need for the pool-based agent. In 6.10, we are introducing introducing Foreman webhooks. We've already deprecated Foreman hooks, and webhooks will come in 6.10 when Foreman hooks actually goes away. Some improvements around the content view import export, as well as already mentioned the content publication workflow simplification that's coming. All right, Satellite 7.0. So the big thing here, and I'm sure I mentioned this before, we didn't do such a great job going from Satellite 5 to Satellite 6. It was going from Spacewalk to Foreman, Catello, Pulp, Candlepin, and it was not a very smooth transition. Well, we recognize, that we can do a better job there. And one of the ways that we're doing this is by putting a lot of effort into, building the trust in our customers and providing a seamless upgrade. And also keep in mind, we are literally using the same upstream project. So once again, it's still Foreman under the covers, it's still Pulp, it's still Candlepin, and Catello. So, the engineering team have done an amazing job at mapping out how this will look and how this will work. And I think that we're going to find that our customers are quite satisfied with the upgrade experience. This is where the full extraction of Puppet will occur, with removal, and then, the emphasis on Ansibles. And we're going to do the best that we can to, help customers in the transition. We're talking to customers on a regular basis. Just had a call with one earlier today, and we're doing our best to ensure that we close as many of the gaps between Ansible and Puppet as possible, knowing that we're not going to cover, be able to close all those gaps, but doing the best we can there. From a performance and availability perspective, we are going to be running on RHEL 7 and RHEL 9, and RHEL 8 being introduced in this 7.1 timeframe, most likely. And then already talked about the Insights POP or Insights connector, so nothing more to add there, just the ongoing initiative. Okay, so let's see. There is work that I haven't mentioned around UI refresh. So we are, doing things with, the masthead, new colors, navigational improvements. Actually, you'll see some navigational improvements, I believe, in Satellite 6.10. But this is an ongoing journey, and with the release of a new major release, you can expect to see, a refresh of the UI, and it will be a PF4, Patternfly 4, most likely base UI. The workflow improvements in Satellite 7.0 are with the host creation wizard, just like we're doing with the content publication wizard or workflow in 6.10. We're going to be doing a similar thing, simplifying the host creation wizard in 7.0. And basing that on PF4 as well. So with that, let's see. I know I talked about Puppet last time and talked about some of the details there. So let me just run through those again, just to make sure it's clear. So Puppet, will be fully removed in 7.0, knowing that some pre-work and some aspects of it are going to change in 6.9, and then also with the introduction of Pulp 3 in 6.10 and the Puppet content type going away. But the rest of it will, go away at 7.0. We hope to, as much as we are able to, allow customers to integrate their own instance of Puppet, whether it be Puppet Enterprise or a community-driven Puppet with Satellite, knowing that there's still going to be some gaps there. But we are continuing to work on that, and that's something that Tomer and Mark are engaged heavily on.
Just a
Satellite
comment
7.0.
about the Puppet extraction. The thing that is going to be removed from Satellite is the ability to function as a Puppet ENC, as well as managing the Puppet server, which it does currently for the customers. You would still be able to send reports and facts from your own Puppet, whether it's community or enterprise, to Satellite and see them there.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tomer. You beat me to it. I had a couple bullets on that I was going to mention, but I'm glad you got it. You guys got it straight from the source, so that's perfect. The last thing that I would like to mention here along the Puppet line is, in order to give customers more time to, either work with an integrated Puppet, or not an integrated, an external Puppet source, or move to Ansible, we are going to be extending the lifecycle support of Satellite 6.10. Most likely, at a minimum, it would be 24 months, but most likely we're going to extend that to 30 months. We still haven't made that decision yet, but I'm feeling like it's going to go to 30 months. All right, what else can I mention? So that's as far as I was going to take it with the introduction of Sat 7.0. The only other thing that I think is probably worth mentioning at this point is we are beginning a lot of conversations around Edge and support of Edge. This is a direction that Rail's going, and as the tooling that supports Rail, we need to do likewise. So we haven't fully ironed out what this is going to look like, to be determined, and maybe that's going to be a good point of for us to discuss at the next roadmap, if you guys invite me back. But at a mile high level, things that we want to be able to consider from an Edge perspective is patching, the UI UX experience, expectations of 100,000 to millions of devices, as you know, and this requires us to basically look into all of our workflows to ensure they are easy and efficient, at this scale. Other things that we have to consider when it comes to Edge is, once again, these are all core use cases of Satellite, but errata and vulnerability reporting, as well as compliance, provisioning, registration, and on down to execution remediation capability, with Ansible or a pull-based insights client. And then, of course, things of the insights advisor, needs to be edge aware and applicable, and look at applicable and non-applicable rules, as well as be able to perform remediation. So a lot for us to consider there across the core use cases of Satellite when it comes to Edge. And we're just beginning these conversations, and I think you can expect us to be able to give you a little bit more insight on some of this in the next 34 months. So with that said, I think that's all I had to cover. Once again, Tomer, BK, anybody, is there anything else that you would like to add? And if not, we can just open it up to see if there's any questions.
No, I think you did good. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
There can be a slight delay with the live stream, but so far I haven't seen any questions, Dana. Between ourselves, we discussed offline that if people have questions after thoughts or queries, you're happy to answer them if at a later stage as well. I take it.
Absolutely. Feel free to shoot them to me, Melanie. I'll get them answered, and you can post them on whatever avenue is best for the team.
That's great, Dana. No, I don't see any questions unless anybody on the call has any questions or comments. I think that that was quite clear.
Very good. Well, short and sweet. We're excited about the changes that are coming. I think it gives our puppet customers a little bit more time, even though some changes will impact them starting in 6.9 and then in 6.10. But all in all, I think it's the right thing to do, and I'm glad we've made these adjustments.
That's great, Dana. Again, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in on the live stream. If anybody is watching this back at a later stage, feel free to drop in some comments with questions, reach out to us on Foreman Discourse or on IRC, and we will take it from there with additional questions. Thank you very much for your time, and bye-bye.
Thank you all. Take care.